Welcome back, guys. Professor here, Professoar. Check out the links below, social media, subscribe, hit bell notification. Today, we're going to be going over EQing and how that works, all right? So today, I'm gonna show you how your EQs work, and I'm gonna show you the tools, how to use the tool, and just some basics with it, all right? So this is our EQ. Now this should be in almost all of your DAWs, all right? So whether you're running Fruity Loops or Ableton or Sony Acid, you should have an EQ in there. You'll even recognize a lot of similarities between all our EQs, all right? So I'm going to explain what we're looking at right now. What we're looking at is the audible spectrum of sound that the human ear can really hear. All the way down to from like 20 hertz, you'll see right here the hertz, like 20 hertz, all the way up to like 20,000 hertz is like the human audible range. All right, so all of this that lies in between is what we're going to be hearing when we listen to our music. Now, a hertz is a full rotation of a wave, so not a circle, but every time it goes up, down, up, and gets right back here, that is 1 hertz. So the lower hertz obviously have lower sound frequencies, like sub-bass, kicks. You got your vocals, which tend to lie in this region, and like some like snares and stuff, and then like your hi-hats and things like that, all right? So this is our visible spectrum. Now let's take a look just at it in motion. Dang, that chugging though. Alright, so I know you don't know what you just saw, or maybe you do know, it doesn't matter. But all those sounds are coming through. Now, on the end of all your EQs, you're going to see shelves. That's what this is. This is a high shelf. Alright? That means wherever you put this up to, it's going to try and anything past it, level it off there. Over on your lower ends is going to be a low shelf. Same thing, vice versa. You're going to notice that these are peaking bands right here, or peaking options. You know, you can adjust with these as well. All these tools allow you to do different things. So like right with this, I'm adjusting the frequency where it is. Now with these, and with all these, you can increase, widen, or decrease the effect of the band that you're applying. So in this peaking band, I can pop it up here. If I want it wider, make it like that, or smaller. And you can always mouse over and do that as well with the wheel. This is a great way to find bad frequencies in a song. You know. So now that I just found that frequency, bada boom, bada bing, I could decrease that a little bit. You know, you could boost up your bass on your full track or your treble. You know, it's a great tool for mastering, but it's not everything you need to do. But to be honest, you should be using your EQ far before your master track. Before we go into where you should be using them, let me explain the other options on here. So what else you have is, say, you right-click, or you can, however you need to get in your options for your EQ, you go to a high pass. What that's going to do is cut off frequencies, or try and cut off frequencies right from where you put it. So say I got it right here. Right here. It's going to try and cut off the frequencies past this. Now you can make it a gentler slope by doing order, I think 2 is the gentlest. And then if you want it to be really steep, you can make it a steep 8, and that's going to be super steep. And of course, wheeling the mouse up and down affects that as well. And you can use these to affect further. So right now I got a high shelf of peaking in this. This looks like something I would use for a hi-hat, to be honest. Like this looks like an EQ I would use for a hi-hat. So let's go back to even more stuff. You can also do a a low pass. So everything beyond it doesn't go. So this is like an EQ I would use for a sub bass almost, except I would make this a lot sharper. And I'd put that right here, and I'd be like boom, and I'd be like bada boom. But so now anything beyond the frequency of like 211 hertz is going to start getting cut off until it's just boop, nothing. So we're going to talk about how to EQ first, then we're going to talk about how to use it as an effect. So let's take off this EQ right here on the master. So we're not doing anything with that. I don't want you guys to be hearing, I want you guys to be hearing what we're doing with the other EQs in here, all right? So we're going to get rid of this. Now let's go to a part of the song that, or an instrument in the song that I've had to EQ, all right? So in this song, I've EQ'd the kick in 2 different ways during the song, all right? And I believe the kick is right, where's my kick? There we go. So right now, you'll notice that this EQ is cutting off a lot of the high ends. And I have it fully on, but I automate it later in the song to turn it off. Now I'm just going to make a quick 4 count pattern so you guys can hear the difference. And then you can hear how I apply it in the song. Alright, so we got a new one, and we'll make it a 4 count. Fill each 4 steps. Alright, ready? So let's listen to this. Oh. So right now, it's really low. And, you know, I'm cutting out a lot of these. I don't want it to cut through the track too much. But you'll notice as I take it off, now it cuts through a lot more. In fact, the frequency, you'll be able to see it. Let me show you it. Look at that, see? All the way from up to down. Now with my other one on, you're going to see I'm only really getting a little bit of this and a lot of the low end saturated. So that's what I have that EQ there for. Now I'm going to show you how I apply that in different spots as well. So during this part of the track, you're going to hear that it's just thumpy.
I'll protect you, your night. I'll protect you, I'll be your night.
But you're going to hear up here, I'm using the same kick. And I make it cut through by putting it back to normal.
I'm on the doorstep, on the floor mat, looking.
Not there. Right here. Actually, in fact, what I did even easier, rather than automating it down, all I did was clone the instrument, and I just put it over here on a different track where it's not being EQ'd at all. See? It's not being EQ'd at all right here. And now those high ends cut through the track, because not only do I have that happening, I have these instruments over here being side chained to it as well. I have my bass and my synth. That's why they cut lower right here when the kick comes in. So that's a great way to let your kick cut through the track, and also to give your instruments more of a bounce. I'm going to show you another EQ I use in this track. We'll go into vocals right now. So let's go to my vocals, or the vocals for this track. You're going to see that I'm using a vocal presence filter, or an EQ. And you can make this yourself as well. But this is a preset. It should be a preset in most of your EQs, like mastering, vocal presence. But what you're hearing right now that makes it sound so nice and crisp is the fact that we're cutting a lot of the low ends that are unnecessary in the human voice and boosting a little on the treble for the detail, and we're leaving this live.
Let me hold you, just feel it.
Now let's listen to it without that. And you'll hear the difference as I mute it and unmute it.
Let me hold you, just feel it. Being drawn by these feelings.
if you can hear over the clicking of my processor, this is a really bad laptop, but you'll notice that it's coming through much clearer. And just because that EQ tends to work like that for the vocals, or our vocals at least in this song. So that's another thing. And of course, you can always adjust it as well and adjust anything you need to. We're not going to save that, though. I really don't want to save that because I want it to be normal. Now, let me show you another EQ we have on here, all right? So I have my hi-hats EQ'd, because I don't want them rolling off lower into the lower ends of my sounds. So right here, you're going to see this. Oh. The heck? There we go. Oh, well, I did have it EQ'd. I guess it reset itself. What I did for that, say if I want to EQ my hi-hat, say you're getting a lot of lower stuff here you don't like, here's what you do. High pass. And there you go. You got a hi-hat. You got an EQ on your hi-hat. So that's really how you EQ. Now, not everything's going to be EQ'd the same way, okay? Because EQing is really an art in and of itself. It's really sitting down and listening to your sounds on your headphones or your monitors, whatever you have them, and then earing them out one by one. And it's an essential part of mixing to make your track sound much cleaner and less busy and full of grit and just like ends that are just just things that are overlapping each other and fighting for frequencies to stand out. So that's one way it could be, like I said, vocal. I mean, anything can be EQ'd. You can even EQ, like I said, an effect. So like, and you can automate that on the track. And of course, you can automate your EQs on and off on the track as well. So, say you don't want your EQ to be on all the time. Take your EQ, go to create automation clip. Now it's automated for wherever you have highlighted. Now it's highlighted down here, but say I want my EQ on right up until here, and then I want it off. Boom, now it's set to off. The value is 0, and I want it to cut back on here. So that's one way to EQ your track through as you render it without you having to change it manually. Because when you render things, you're not going to be able to manually do them yourself. You're going to have to automate it. So let's see what we went over. How to EQ, how to use it, how to set up your different bands. So you find your EQ. You got your low shelf and your high shelf. And remember, they're used to set values passed. You have your peaking and how to change the bandwidths, and not just peaking does that. Of course, these do as well. And then you also, remember, have your high pass and low passes. Oh, a band pass is a middle one as well, by the way, guys. So that's how you're going to be using your EQs and how you should be using your EQs, guys. All right? And just keep practicing with it, but use it in your mixes, use it in your masters. Just keep using it, and if say you have a sound that you really like a certain part of, pronounce that part, turn down the part you don't like. It's good to mix your songs and make sure that they are mixed well before you finalize them, because it's going to sound better. And if you send them off to get mastered or mastered yourself, it's going to sound even better. You should always be trying to get the best quality sound out of all your instruments. All right, guys. Well, that's how you're going to EQ. I want to thank you guys for getting me to 576 subscribers. Like I promised, Twitter's now live. I'll be announcing live streams. I'll be posting new videos up on there as well when I do them. You can see it at Professor Kuma. As I said, when we get to 1,000, I'll be putting up I'll be putting up beats and sounds for you guys to use for free to practice with, do whatever you want with. As well, I mean, guys, just keep coming back, checking things out. Make sure to check out the social media links below: Pond5, SoundCloud, Facebook, YouTube, Songtrader, Spotify, etc., guys. I've got a new track coming out next week. I'll put a video up for when that happens. And I hope you guys have an excellent day. Come back again and check out more stuff. Leave comments down below what you'd like to see next. I think next time we'll go over compression and limiting, guys. That way I can help teach you guys what's going on with that. That's another essential part of making beats if you're going to be doing that stuff. It'll teach you how to... It'll teach you how to sidechain. It'll teach you how to bring out some of the best in your songs but not make them too loud, or your vocals, or even instruments. It just depends on how you want to use it. Alright guys, well that's it. This has been Professor, Professoar. I hope you guys have an excellent day. Take it easy. Keep at your grind, guys. Alright? Peace out.